I guess, then what is, in your opinion, what is art?
Okay, it's a really great question, and it's a question because it's indefinable. It's worth asking.
Mm.
So you're never going to get a solid answer from anybody. But it's almost to say it as clearly as possible, which I wonder if I'm doing. The question is more important than the answer.
Okay.
It really is, because if there are some things that I think if you keep going back and re-asking, they gain somehow more depth, more integrity, because you're always moving closer to an answer. Mm. So you don't always need an answer, but if you're moving down the road toward an answer, it's like discovering yourself and then looking back at your life and realizing you were several different people according to the season in which you lived.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Trying to find the answer to that question makes the question legitimized. I have a quote here because I thought about this, when you brought this up to me, this opportunity to talk to you about these sorts of things. And I do think that some of the people that preceded us who were really brilliant are wonderful places to go to seek out answers. Mm-hmm. So this is what Martha Mayer Erlbacher said. She was my teacher. She said, quote, "Art is the greatest possible realization of our deepest fears, joys, and instincts as human beings." The greatest possible realization. So to me, what that does is it gets to that idea of the crest of the wave, that you're trying to target and pinpoint those parts of your life that you never want to forget. Like, the moment that your child was born, that is indelibly etched in your memory. And if you lose every memory you have, but 10 of them, that's one of the 10. Mm. And that's where you want to live in art. I think what art is really, practically, it's an industry built around the getaway, the breakaway moments from the obligations of life. So when people live their lives and they pay their bills and they do their jobs, there are moments in their lives when they say, I got to get away from this. I got to step back and do something that I'd love to do that would be really creative for me, that I know I need. And art is built around that. It's like the entertainment industry in a sense, because there are practical components to it, realities to it. There are ways of getting better at it. And in the process of improving in the ability to express the sheer fundamental technical portions, their voice comes through more and they get a better sense, and here's my word again, of fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And so art is a very fulfilling thing because, and it's weird, it's oxymoronic, because it's unnecessary, because it doesn't, it's not engineering and it's not medicine. So it's
unnecessary. You said it's unnecessary.
It's not a necessary thing for humanity in a practical sense. It's not. We're not building bridges. I used to say in jest almost to classes that, hey, we're not curing cancer. And then I had somebody in my class. This is a few years ago, and she told me that she was there with her husband. They were in class, and he was stage 4, and she said in so many words, this is saving his life. And I thought again about it. I went back and sort of fundamentally reconsidered it. And I should have. Maybe I was just short-sighted, but by being unnecessary, it may be the most necessary thing because of its connection with this idea of really living to the fullest. Again, to pull a cliche in, but there is something there. There's an essence there that really makes you feel alive, that this is getting to, it's tapping into. And that's what makes it really valuable and undefinable. People talk about developing, the art of cooking or, the performance of a tennis player to an art. Yeah. Something to the effect where it becomes, there's a fluency there. And at the same time, there's an opportunity through that fluency to express something that's vital to you. It makes you feel right with the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what art is.
Okay. That's lovely for sure. And I do, the complexity and seeming uselessness, I guess, of art, I think is almost all the more reason for what you were saying earlier, that it's like to continue to ask the question. Um, because I've been listening to podcasts and lectures or whatever on the subject recently, and besides having the conversations with other people, um, and it seems like some of these people really, I mean, consider art art and artists, the people who make the work, who make art, objects of art, to have a very important mission. Um, the there's a clinical psychologist named Jordan Peterson who unfortunately he doesn't talk about art as often as I would like him to, so that he could elaborate more on the subject. But he talks about it in the personality trait aspect of the person who makes art, and where he puts artists together with the entrepreneurs in the sense that they go into the shitty looking parts of town and they see something in there and they make it into something else. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's happened more, at least more than once in New York, where it's like what was it, the part that used to be super shitty or something, and then the artists used to live there. What, the village in Manhattan and whatever, whatever, like that kind of, like I cannot think of the name of a place right now, but it's happened at least twice in New York throughout history, New York's more recent history, where like artists live in this area, and then they, by living there, do their art thing, and then the capitalists or whatever it is, then they move in there and then they gentrify everything, and then the artists can't afford to live there anymore, so like now that area is livable for regular, quote unquote, regular people. So like, according to this clinical psychologist, that is